Hey y'all, happy Thursday. Today is Thursday, February 22nd. As you guys probably have heard by now, there has been a massive phone outage that has swept across the nation, affecting a lot of different carriers. The AT&T is the main carrier that has been affected. There have been more than 60,000 outages reported, and Cricket Wireless reported 13,000 outages. Verizon reported more than 4,000 outages. T-Mobile, 1,900 outages, and Boost Mobile had about 700 outages. There have also been outages reported by another carrier, Consumer Cellular, and Verizon. I did mention Verizon. So the thing about this is it did start a little bit after 4 a.m. this morning. I think I will try to insert a screenshot of what I took because I did notice the SOS popped up out on my phone around that time. And I tried to make a phone call and was unable to. I didn't really worry about it as bad as that sounds, you guys, because I have seen this pop up over like the last few months quite a few times. And I don't think that maybe people just didn't realize what it was, or just now that it's a massive outage, people are like paying attention. I know we actually had this happen in my area back in September, October as well. And the funny thing about this is, even though we have AT&T personally, it didn't even affect every single phone on my plan, which is very odd. So there's a lot of speculation that it could be a cyber attack. There's also speculation that it was due to the solar flare that did occur last night. In case you're not aware of the solar flare that happened, it was one that happened at 6:07 Eastern Standard Time last night, February 21st, and the second one peaked at 1:32 Eastern Standard Time today, February 22nd. And in case you're not aware of what a solar flare is, it's just a powerful burst of energy. So people are, there's speculation that that could have done it. I don't think that's the case. I think we're living in a time where it's kind of obvious the things that are happening. And I would say this is a test. This is a wake-up call. Now that it has been brought to a national attention or a national scale, because it has affected so many people, maybe people will start paying attention. I do know that we kind of get just complacent, and I will even say for me, because when I looked at the message at 4 this morning, a little after 4, I wasn't even worried, and it's just because I've seen it pop up several times over the last few months, and I know that when that happens, I'm not able to make phone calls, and that's just probably not the right mindset to have. And again, so this is a spare phone that we had. This phone was not affected. My phone was affected. The only way that I could use my phone was over text. I could text over my Wi-Fi, and that's it. I could use my Wi-Fi, my internet over the Wi-Fi. My husband, who is out right now, working, his phone was not affected at all. And I don't know about my children's phone. I don't know. My sister lives in Cali. She has AT&T service. She was not affected at all. So I don't know how it works and what phones it decides to pick. Because again, these are all AT&T. I will show you if you can see. You see that? Oh, hold on, y'all. You can see right there AT&T, and the phone I am on is obviously AT&T as well, and that was the only one that was affected. My service did come back up on my phone about 15 minutes ago. Again, it is 12:37, so it was just recent that my phone service has been like restored. And what's the funny thing about it is, when we lost service, I really feel like it was September or October of last year. I feel like it was still kind of warm. It could have possibly been August. I actually did a screen recording, and I was going to get it up, but I wasn't posting during that time, and it's just something I didn't get around to. I tried to go through my phone before I actually did this video to see if I could actually find it to show you guys, y'all. But yeah, so again, this is not the first time it's happened to me personally. I have experienced this before, and I feel like we all should be finding a different way to communicate in case something like this does happen. The last time this happened to us personally, it was if you're familiar with like Salisbury, North Carolina, it happened in that area. My husband was actually working in that area all day, and he had service, but once he kind of got further away from Salisbury is when he kind of lost connection. And whereas I didn't have service all day that day, I was actually speaking to a woman at a gas station, and she was like, yeah, I worked like really deep inside Salisbury, like in the main part of the city of Salisbury. And she had her service that was affected as well when she was at work. She was like, yeah, I was at work today and we could barely work because our internet was going in and out, and then we lost it completely. And you know, phone lines were down and things of that nature. So again, this is probably just a good time to check into other means of communications. I know we rely on cell phones so much just in our everyday lives. I don't think a lot of us have landlines anymore. So, and I'm not sure that we're going to go back to landlines, but I don't know, walkie-talkies, I know there's like different radios and everything that you can use. So just make sure that you are staying prepared and staying on top of things and getting those things that you need. 911 systems, obviously we couldn't use that as a means to communicate, which could be scary in the event of an emergency just because you don't know when that's going to happen. That's another reason why you should, if at all possible, take this time to learn first aid and, you know, CPR, and like learn how to apply those tourniquets properly and use your medical supplies properly in the case that, you know, you cannot communicate and maybe you have to transport somebody in a car, find a different way to get them assistance. You know, just check with your neighbors. If you're around neighbors, if you have those people or just a network of people that you can rely on. Thankfully, I have actually a couple of first responders and people in the medical field. So I think there's a pretty, just right here in my circle, there's a good amount of us that have medical, you know, background. So that's good in a case of an emergency. Some of us know more than others, and, you know, so that would be good for us. But, you know, it won't hurt to check into just your resources that you have. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope you guys take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.